Alright guys, so in this video, I'm going to show you one of the awesome tricks that you can do in Zapier, and we haven't talked about it yet. It is Zapier Paths, alright? So I'm just going to jump right in and share my screen and show you exactly how to use it. Alright, so we're just going to create a new Zap. Hopefully now you guys are really confident in using Zapier because you've went through all the training. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a trigger here where we're going to trigger out on this spreadsheet right here. And whenever we get some new data to the spreadsheet, what we're going to do is we're going to use Zapier Paths to basically have a switch statement or an if statement. If you're familiar with programming, you'll understand conditional logic and switch statements and all that good stuff. If you're not familiar with programming, then that's totally fine. We're going to go in and show you exactly how to do it. So what you're going to do is, the front part of your Zap can be anything that you want. And sometimes what you'll notice inside Zapier, or whenever you're running your automation, is there could be more than one thing that you actually want to do. You may want to, if this condition's met, you may want to do that. If that condition's met, you may want to do that. If some other conditions met, you may want to do some other thing. All right. So Zapier Paths is what essentially allows you to do that. I use Zapier Paths all the time, especially for Magic Zap. It's something I use all the time with Magic Zap. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click on our action and we're going to select Zapier Paths. Now, what I want you to understand here, and I'm just going to kind of draw it out a little bit for you. Here's your automation, all your automated sequences. And then essentially with Zapier Paths, you're going to have more automations that can branch out and do different things, all right? Just like this. This is essentially, let's say we've got 4 different paths, and the first part of every single path is going to be your condition. It's going to be if, this, then do that. And the main thing that I actually want you to understand is how Zapier Paths work is as soon as a path meets the condition and the condition is true, that path will execute and everything under that path will execute and no other paths will execute. So if you have a condition here and that's not true, then Zapier will go to the next path. If this condition ends up being true, Zapier will continue down that path and ignore these other paths. Only one path will ever execute. There is no way to get more than one path to actually execute, all right? So this is in case you want to check some type of conditions and stuff like that. So we're just going to go ahead and see how it works. You have these different paths here. I'm going to come here to this path, and you can see it has a name that we're going to give it. I'm just going to put, value equals 1. Because that's what I'm going to do here. And you'll see the very first thing is it's going to have some rules. And here's my conditional logic. Here's where I actually get to check different conditions and see, hey, if this condition is true, I want you to do this. If this condition is true, I want you to do that. So I'm just going to check this value here. And I'm going to see that it is equal to, exactly matches 1. And then I'm going to continue. And then I'm going to continue. And it says this path would have executed. And then I'm just going to pick Google Sheets. And then I'm going to update a spreadsheet row essentially. And then I'm going to come in here. And all we're literally going to do is I'm going to come in and put some values here. And then I'm going to put a yes here wherever which value was selected. All right. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to pick my Google Sheet. I'm going to pick my Zapier Paths, pick my workbook. From here, what I want to do here is I just want to use a custom value here, all right? So I'm going to use a custom value, and that custom value is going to be my row ID. And then all I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in a yes here because this was the value. What is it? No, I just ran out of potato, so I'm done.
4 potatoes was there, right?
Nope, 1 potato was there. So now you're going to see I'm going to send that test to Google Sheet. My yes is going to show up there. And I'm going to set up my next path. This is going to be path B. And I'm just going to put value equals 2. And then I'm going to continue with my rule and do the same thing here. Value exactly matches 2. This path would not have executed because my value is 1 at this point. So now I'm going to do the same thing, Google Sheets. I'm going to update a spreadsheet row. And it's going to be from this guy right here. I really wish I had a way for you to clone these paths and just update them a little bit, but they don't, but no big deal there. So pick my same guys here. Zapier Paths spreadsheet, this worksheet right here. Remember, I'm going to pick a custom value from here, and I'm just going to pick my row ID or row number. They're the same thing. And then here I'm going to put a yes because this was the to value. And then I'm going to continue. I'm going to send my test to Google Sheets. This wouldn't have executed, so nothing's going to actually happen there. All right. And we're going to finish this. And add another path here. All right. Not sure what that error was. So here we go. I'm going to add this path. This is going to be value equals 3. Value equals 3. And we're just going to continue on. Do the same thing we did. Value exactly matches 3. Continue. Google Sheets. Update spreadsheet row. And what we're going to do is we are going to do this same thing right here. Zapier Paths. I just got 2 more paths to create. I think we can create a maximum of 5 is what Zapier allows us. 5 different paths is the maximum I'm pretty sure they allow us. Use a custom value. And this is value equals 3. Yes. Continue. I don't want to send this test to Zapier. This is going to execute regardless because it's my path. When I send my test is going to be what executes, and it will add it to Google Sheets because it's actually my path, the first step in my path that. All right, so this is going to be value equals 5. And we're almost done here. Don't worry, we're almost done. I know this seems a little bit redundant, but that's because I wanted to set up all 5 paths. I'll have some more later. Can't eat on a training video, baby. Update the spreadsheet row. That's how much I love you guys. I'm neglecting my food to give you this training. See how much I care about you? I'm not even eating my food. I'm neglecting my food to provide you this valuable Zapier training. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to pick these guys, and then I'm going to run this and let you see the execution and see how it works. And you can see how this is actually working perfectly, where you can do multiple things with the same Zap if you use Zapier Paths and you set up your conditions. All right? So we're almost done. Don't worry. I just got one more path to create. Skip that test. Finish. Come back here to path 4 and do the same thing. Value equals 4. Value exactly matches 4. Almost done. Don't worry, guys. Almost done. I know this one's taking a little bit longer than our other trainings, but I'm trying to keep it as short as possible, but yet still show you how this works and make sure that you understand how it works. So we went through enough paths now and set up enough paths and the filter on the paths where you should be experts at it. You guys should all be able to go to Zapier University and take a Zapier test now and become Zapier certified experts. If you feel like you're still struggling with Zapier, then what you can do is just go back in and watch those training videos again, because I've covered pretty much everything that you need to know. So now we're just going to use a custom value for the row, and we're going to use that same row that came in from Google, and we're going to put in a yes here. So now we're done with our Zap. We got all 5 paths set up. Let's skip that test. We're going to finish. I'm just curious to see if Zapier will actually let me set up more paths. Looks like they will. Not sure how to delete a path. So let's just do value equals 6 and set up this last path, and then we'll add in a 6 here. And this will be the last one we've done. It looks like it looks like Zapier lets you set up quite a lot. They used to only let you set up 3, but it looks like they let you set up a lot now. All right. So now what we're going to do is continue. And we're going to do a Google Sheet. Update a spreadsheet row. Save and continue. Pick from our Google Drive. We're going to pick our spreadsheet for Zapier Paths. And we're going to pick that worksheet. And we're going to use a custom value here. Use a custom value. Row number. Yes. All right, so now we're done with our Zap. So we're just going to skip this test and finish here. Didn't I? Now we're done. So we're just going to turn this on. All right. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to create a random number. And let's see if we can just create that. So we're going to create a random number between 1 and, let's say, 5,000. All right. And then here what we're going to do is equal this mod. Let's see how to do that. How to do an Excel modulus function. Okay, mod 10 and 3. All right, number and divisor. So we actually want to do this. We're going to do equals mod, and then this, and then we want to do a 6, and then +1. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to run this down a lot, all the way to 74, and we're going to run this down all the way to 74. So now you can see we just generated a bunch of random numbers, and we're coming up with 1, 2, 6 by using our modulus function here. So now we got a 1 to 6. So now we're going to go in and just view the zap here, Zapier Paths. And we're going to go in and run this. All right. This says it's instant. Although it says it's instant, what has actually happened here? Zapier Paths. Edit these options. New spreadsheet row. New or updated spreadsheet row. So we're just going to continue there. I just need to change this real quick. Zapier Paths. This sheet. And I'm going to do it whenever value gets updated. All right. So you can see that updated all my numbers over here.
Sorry?
Updated all my numbers again over there.
Those numbers?
I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
So now I got all my numbers. Now I'm going to turn this guy on. Now he's turned on. So now let's see if I can get him to work. It's not executed for some reason. So we're still waiting for him to execute. I'm not quite sure why he hasn't actually executed. He should be executing, but I notice he hasn't executed yet. And whenever I look at him and go to his task history, I can see that he hasn't actually executed yet. So I'm a little confused, honestly. I'm a little confused myself why he's not actually executing. He should be executing for sure. And I don't see where he's actually executing whatsoever. Make sure I have task and everything. I do. So he has not executed. Not sure why he didn't execute at all, to be honest. So he should be executing, but he is not executing. So he should be executing whenever this value gets updated. Good night. But it looks like Google is not sending actual any data. Is what it looks like to me. So I am getting updated values. There's my value of 2, row 74, row 74. Something is all amuck here. All right, so now I can see that it did go for some. It's actually going for some now. As you can see, it's filling out the data where it needs to go. For some reason, it was actually delayed. So since it was delayed, the values aren't actually coming in right. But once this is all done, should be able to go in here and go in here and pull that guy down, pull that guy down. And be able to show you this actually working just like it should. So let's get rid of all these math functions that I was trying to do to make this easy for you to actually see. I can see that it's actually still running now in the background. Okay. So here I'll just put a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Gonna get rid of all that. And I'm gonna delete that. And I'll put a 4, and I'll put a 5. I'll put a 6. All right. So then again, now what we have to do is we just have to wait for Zapier to do its thing. And there's a little bit of delay here for it to go in and actually do its thing. You can see, most likely you'll be able to see now that my task is actually running. Even though it shows that, let's look at our task history there. I can see that it's actually running and it's going successful, showing me exactly what it's actually doing. And now again, I just have to wait here. I'm gonna do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then maybe just come down to 90 and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then all I have to do again is I just have to wait for Zapier to do its thing. All right. So I don't really want to wait for Zapier to do its thing, just so you can actually see it. Hopefully you guys get the point. You can see that 5 just came through right there. 1, 2, 3, 1. There's 5. So you can see that it's actually running and it's actually executing. It's getting a little bit delayed because of Excel actually sending the data to Zapier. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes there's delays, don't worry. But you can see it's actually working. It's putting the yes exactly where it needs to go based on the actual Zapier path. All right. So you can see how the Zapier paths work and how they can allow you to do multiple different stuff depending on you know, your if statements and your conditional logic where you check something. This is something that I use all the time for Magic Zap. So I'll set up one Zap with Magic Zap, and then I'll have multiple paths that are basically looking at the URL that you came in on, that Magic Zap is triggering on, so I know exactly what to do with you based on that actual URL. I know if I need to add you to a sequence to follow up with you. I know if I need to remove you from a sequence because you actually bought the thing I was trying to get you to buy. So this becomes really, really useful. So now hopefully you understand everything that you need to know about Zapier.